how important it is that we bring the parent also as part of the science education in early years. Yes, so my name is Sari Hurme-Mehtälä is the last name, really hard to pronounce. I am the CEO and co-founder of the company called Kide Science. So shortly, we are an EdTech company from Finland for science education for young children between 3 to 8 year olds. So actually, we are 3 founders of Kide Science, and I am the business person. So in our founding team, we have the researcher and the teacher, and then I have the background from business, from bigger companies, from ICT like Samsung. I was a marketing manager there. And before that, I was in bigger and smaller media companies doing sales and marketing. So a lot of experience from that field. So we started the business and company 2017 December. So we've been around 2.5 years now. I've been from the start as well, but actually before that we had years of academic research done by our 2 other founders. So we had a lot of research, but then when we needed and kind of noticed that there's a bigger demand for the business, then we founded the company for the business. So when we did the research for young children's science education, actually it was supposed to do first for the teenagers, but Jenny, the researcher, found out quite quickly that if you really want to make the engagement and impact for science, you have to start younger, like for the really young children before school age. But if you do that, you have to do the pedagogy totally different way than with the school age children when you are teaching science. And then actually Jenny needed to create the whole science environment for young children to do the research, because there wasn't that kind of a pedagogical model existing in Finland even. And when the model was ready and we created the content and everything, we also received a lot of feedback from the teachers that in early years education, the teachers are quite afraid of doing science with young kids because they don't have any science background. For example, they don't know physics or chemistry that well than science teachers in high school or primary school. So we even saw the demand from Finnish teachers in early childhood education. And that's why we created the whole platform, system, content, pedagogical model, everything for the teachers, so they can feel that they can do science with young children and they are comfortable doing that. So we kind of solve the problem that the teachers can do science with young children and they are comfortable doing it and doing it really engaging way. But also we do have nowadays also a solution for parents. So parents can also feel comfortable doing science activities with children. So we offer everything through online platform for the adults, and then they get the guidance and also lesson plans, activity guidance, how to do science activities with young children. But the children doesn't use any tablet or mobile phones, so they do hands-on activities. But we provide kind of the playful learning environment through the adults to the children. Not that we immediately guide the children, but when we do have, for example, science lessons or hobby clubs, which we have done even remotely nowadays, there is a teacher like this now, like live video, and the teacher is on the other side and the kids are on the other side at home, for example. So in that case, there is like a straight connection to the child, but our platform is always for the adults and parents and educators. It's really different dependent on what kind of subject, for example, we are teaching for children. So if you are rehearsing math skills, for example, doing calculations and those kind of things, that might be really easy to do with the tablet and totally fine. But when you are trying to understand how the world around us functions, or the science related, nature science and stuff, it's like you shouldn't rote learn facts when you are a child. You should teach them like science process skills, doing hands-on activities, really figuring this by themselves, hands-on. And that's when we see that the only like through tablets that wouldn't work. So that's why we have created the model like this. We are at the moment in 14 countries, and mostly actually in Asian region. So we went straight from Finland to China.
Wow.
And we have the platform in Finnish, English, and Chinese. And one of the biggest customers is in China, which is a big learning center chain in 30 provinces in China. And then we have, I think the biggest country then is Thailand, where we have 3 different partners. We have kindergartens or learning centers as our customers. Then we have in Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, Hong Kong, and then also Australia, and some in Middle East. And yeah, but also like in Finland, of course, we have the biggest traction and biggest customer base, because that's where we started 2.5 years ago. But we have seen quite big demand also, and especially from Asian countries, that they're really willing to have these new programs about early education, science education, and especially from Finland. We feel after doing this now 2 years around outside of Finland as well, that the children are actually quite same. And also the science in general, that is really global thing. Not that it's localized about how you want to know about science. It's really global thing, not like a religion or culture or that kind of thing. And but then what is the biggest difference? I think it's parents, and parents kind of targets and feelings how it should be taught, and also what is the outcome after each lesson. So in Finland, I think that the parents are really happy that the children are happy and they were having fun. But then when you go, for example, to China, we see a lot that the parents are immediately like, okay, please tell me, what were the facts you learned and what were the things you were learning, and kind of trying to get immediate outcome, something concrete from there. So it's really different kind of a education culture, but we see also a movement from parents outside of Finland and education sector, that more soft skills and child-centric learning, playful learning, especially in early years, it's coming more and more as a trend, that the parents know that they want different childhood that they had when they were children. So I think overall it kind of hit us in the way that kindergarten chains and learning center chains, of course, were all closed, and they are also in the situation that they have to think twice before they buy new products, new programs to their company or like that. But then because we have all the solution, what we train the teachers and everything, we have online platform. So it's easy to, the teachers can train themselves even at home, and they can start that remotely. And actually, because of the coronavirus happened, we also developed our product in a way that the children can do science activities also with their parents at home. So we created the whole parent B2C kind of a model for our system because of COVID happened. So we were able to do that development, and actually we now see a really big demand for that. And also we are negotiating now also bigger deals for that parental and home product and B2C product, but of course the core focus is to sell this to kindergartens and institutions and for teachers. But it kind of accidentally created a new business around it. So there was challenges, but also bigger opportunities as well. Yeah, we launched that actually on March. So it's something that we have always made the research also that how important it is that we bring the parent also as part of the science education in early years. Not that it happens only in kindergarten or preschool. And that's why we have always had already home experiments for the parents so the children after lesson at kindergarten, they can then do activities at home with the parents, almost like educate the parents what they have learned in the kindergarten. And Jenny has done some research also how important it is to have the holistic approach with the parents and educators both aligned. And so it was easy that we knew how to do it and what to do for the parents as well. But then now it was, and it has been in our plans, but because COVID happened, it's like, okay, now it's the time we have to do it now. So usually in a startup, when you have small team and small resources, you should focus on one target group, one customer and one product. But then we felt that because of COVID, we had to test also this kind of other product, which is a little bit of sidekick for the other focused product, but still it's something I think that we made the right decision with that. Of course, in a way that, well, gladly we have been maximum 10 people in our team, so kind of we were under restrictions. We could have been working at the office, but we did everything remotely when Corona happened, and so we had to do everything remotely, which is a little bit of course more challenging, but I feel that we were in a really good position that our company culture has somehow helped us, that the remote working has been really easy for us. Of course, it's a challenge because you don't see people face to face, but still we kind of have been used to do that with our customers outside of Finland and with our partners. And we do remote work days also occasionally. So it wasn't that hard for us, but then we had to create a new content, which is like video shooting and everything like that, which we actually had to come to the office to do the video shooting, but it required only 2 or 3 people. So we could do that, but of course it was something that we had to make a decision. Okay, now you are going to the office and meet each other and do this. And yeah, but it wasn't that hard because we also tested the new solution with parents in Finland, and we even tested with some companies who had to have homeschooling with kids at home. So we kind of could test that immediately because everybody was having the homeschool at home. So it was easy to test with the parents at home. Otherwise, if it would haven't happened, we couldn't test that easily. So there was kind of challenge, but then kind of didn't. So it was quite easy for our company, I would say. As a CEO, I was really happy to see that it didn't affect that much, even though we did work from home. I think it was really important that, well, we do have anyways, remotely or not, we do have like these dailies and weeklies and even retrospective sessions bi-weekly, which means that we go through with the team, like, how have you been doing, kind of. We even did afterworks remotely and some coffee breaks, even sometimes lunch hour that we even ate together. So also having a free time together in this situation. And then we wanted to be really transparent for the team all the time, like what are we expecting from the team. Also that we gave the possibility to be really flexible, that if you have a child at home, you don't need to also work 8 hours in a day. You can do the works here and there. and even some of the team members chose to work less, like 80% of the monthly time and those kind of things. Or then that if you don't do the maximum work hours, you can do them at some point later when the COVID situation is over. So we gave a lot of flexibility for the team, but also we wanted to be quite kind of transparent about the things that our company is doing quite well, that there isn't a big fear of we need to do layoffs or those kind of things, because we knew that we are going to get a funding round as well. So the cash balance was okay and company was healthy. So that was also, of course, then easier everybody to work, even though we heard a lot of news about layoffs and this kind of a bad situation with other companies. We were quite okay to say everybody that no worries, we are in a good position. What are my thoughts that what's going to happen? I think in general, the biggest challenge is that quite many education solutions globally have now offered free solutions for educators and schools and parents. And what happens then after the COVID situation is over? How many of the companies can really make money out of it and kind of now put some fees and costs and payments for that? Or also in the sense that all the schools, all the teachers in the world or parents needed to do the remote learning and start using EdTech products. But then because there are so many, how do you stand out from there? So I think the biggest thing is like, how do you partner with bigger partners? I think also like Kide Science is quite small company, and how many of the teachers even know that we exist? They think about first like Google, Zoom, and other these kind of a remote learning products. So it's also a challenge, even though it was now first time the situation that all the teachers needed to start using EdTech products, some of in their different needs. But so I think it was this has been really good test that EdTech is, I think, also here now to stay, and teachers know more how to use different products and what products do they exist, but then how to have it long run monetized and really secured business, that's another thing. And so, but I think it's in general it's good for EdTech companies and business that you gained more users, more user experience, and how things are doing and going in general. So in that sense, it's, I think, a good situation. I think it's totally the user experience. So if the user is the teacher, or if the user is the child, or if the user is the parent, for example, I know personally that if I start using some new application or system, if I really don't know intuitively how to use it, or if that gives me any benefits, then I won't use it again. So it's like the user experience and how much the user gets out of it. In the long run also, even though we are an EdTech company, we do have the platform, but kind of the end user is the child. But not that we have to, or we need to, of course, we know that we have child product fit. The children love our product, our lessons, but there is in the between, there is the user of the teacher or parent, and we have to please them first before we please the children. Of course, then the teacher knows that if they do well Kide Science lessons, the children are happy, and then the parents and teachers are happy. So it's a three-way thing. In general, I think all the EdTech products, of course, there is always the impact, and especially if the outcome is the kind of how have they learned or something like that. But I think it's the user experience, and that you don't need to ask a lot of support how to use it, but it's really intuitive and really easy to use. I think in general, as being a founder, I think the biggest thing for us, why we have been so successful, if I may say that we are somehow a successful company, is that because we had really diverse founding team and we didn't fund, so I wasn't like the only founder, that we had 3 founders who support each other and we had really diverse background. So I see in many companies that there is this innovator who has invented something and wants to build a business, but then they might not have any business background. So that might be a bigger challenge. And I see that in our company, the biggest thing was that we had a researcher who knows exactly about what the research shares, how should we do it. Then we had the teacher who knows everything about the teacher mindset and the education part and how to be with children. And then me as a business person, I'm always like, yeah, but does it really make a business out of it, or how should we think about that way? So how to combine that, and I think that's really key. And also mentally, if you are doing a solo entrepreneur kind of journey, you are always with your own thoughts. You should have a fellow, at least co-founders or advisors or somebody who can you talk to like daily basis, because it's like this even with me, even there isn't any problems, I'm sometimes like waking up at night and, oh my god, everything is so bad, and then you wake up in the morning like, oh my god, everything is so fine. So it's like the roller coaster in your head. So it's really good to have fellow co-founders with you.